Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Connecting Life podcast. I'm your host, Diana Boskma, and I'm here to help you connect the dots of life so that you can live your best life in a healthy and fulfilling way. Today, I'm talking with Jeanette Kiehl, who is an amazing life coach, a Reiki master, and she has a wellness center with her Harmonic Egg. Would you please tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Janet Kiehl, I have been a life coach for 10 years. Recently purchased a Harmonic Egg and opened a wellness center here in Michigan. And with that, opens a whole new world, right?
Yeah.
And I love everything that has to do with energies and frequencies and helping people with all kinds of mental and emotional wellness, right? Anything to do with that. Mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual wellness. I was asked one day, what is it? If you could do anything in the world, what would it be? And I pondered on that for a long time. And the answer always came up. I just want to help people.
Yep.
That's it. Basically, I want to help
people.
Makes
total sense. Yes.
Yes. So here I am.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm wondering, how does the Harmonic Egg work for well-being?
Well, it's a light and sound frequency chamber. So what that means is this egg is the inventor invented the shape of the egg in the shape of an egg for a specific reason. It's based on Tesla's 369 theory that everything, when you're sitting inside this chamber and a person does sit right inside, sits in a chair, sits inside, close the door. And when the door is closed and the music is playing and the music is written specifically for any specific illness, or I don't even say illness, anything, anxiety, arthritis, asthma, etc. And when you're sitting in there and a vortex of music is played then around you, it creates a vortex of frequency, which gets into your subconscious mind and helps heal. Now, and we know that our subconscious mind is the mind that we can't control, right?
Yes.
So therefore, the underlying causes or underlying, I don't want to say causes, but the underlying issue that we cannot see or really even know is there, the frequency of the egg, that it heals that.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
That's pretty cool.
So, I mean, that's perfect for what I want to do by helping people. So,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds quite amazing, actually.
Yeah, and it works by, so say if you were to come in and have a session with me, we would have a conversation about what's going on. I would kind of look a little bit behind the scene of maybe if you're telling me like, why can't I make any money? Or why are my relationships so bad or never work out or something like that? I would look behind the cause of that, not just the symptom. What's the cause from that? What else is happening? And we'd have a conversation about all of that. And then I would pick the music specifically for that. And sit you in the egg. We'd have we'd make an intention. We'd create an intention together because it's really important to have an intention. And you would sit in this egg for 40 minutes with the music on, and then 10 minutes in silence, because silence is the integration where the shift happens. A lot of people don't like the silent part because we are in fight or flight all the time. So that 10 minutes of silence really is where the magic happens.
Yes, I know that.
Does that make sense?
Yes. With meditation, it's also about the silence, because in the silence, that's when it happens.
Yes.
That's when change happens.
Yes.
And it's amazing what that can do. So I get totally what that silence can do for someone, however hard it is.
Yes. Yes.
What do you do with someone who really struggles with that?
With the silence?
Mm.
Well, just give them confirmation that it's okay. It's okay to
Mm-hmm.
struggle with it, first of all. Not everybody likes the silence. Some people love it, some people don't, and it's okay.
Yeah.
It's only 10, and then I tell them, it's only 10 minutes. You can sit in silence for 10 minutes. Even if you get antsy, just breathe through it, right? Take some deep
Mm.
breaths and just breathe through it. And cry if you need to cry. Shout if you need to shout. Do whatever you need to do. Don't get out of that chair. Whatever you do not get out of that chair. Do
Mm.
whatever else you need to do. But
Yeah.
and usually people are pretty calm about it then after the
Mm-hmm.
conversation.
That's good. That's really good. Yeah, I know there are people who struggle so much with silence that they will start crying.
Oh
And
yes,
then it's what you need.
that's why they don't like it.
Yep.
And that's why I always give them tissues.
Mm. That makes sense too. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. If you don't use
So
them, great.
well
But if you
prepared
do,
in the egg.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how long have you been working with the egg now?
Well, I got the egg the first time in 2021, and I had it in a wellness center in another town. I ended up closing that center for a lot of reasons, but my mom was sick. I ended up taking care of my mom, and she ended up passing away. So I took a year off of doing the egg, and now I
Mm.
moved to a different town, brought the egg with me. Well, I purchased another egg, so because I had to sell it and give it back and everything. So, but I have another one, and I just couldn't live without it. It was like really good confirmation that this is where my path is with the egg.
Yes.
So
Makes sense.
I purchased it again, moved towns, and started another wellness center here.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so it's been a couple of years, 2021.
Yeah. So have you been in it yourself as well?
Oh, yes. Even before I purchased the egg, I traveled to other states, and I traveled 8 hours to a center where it was close to me. And I think I did maybe 3 or 5 sessions before I got my own egg, because I wanted to make sure. Well, it didn't matter. I knew when I watched the interview, I knew I was purchasing this egg. So it didn't matter, but I wanted to go try it out because it took almost a year to get the egg. So once I ordered it,
Oh, wow.
it took that long for production.
Wow.
Yes.
So you've seen
So
the benefits firsthand.
Oh yeah. And I've lost track how many times I've been in it now.
Mm.
It sure helped me get through a lot of my hard times.
I can imagine.
Mhm.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Having that available to you. Right.
Yes. Yes.
That's beautiful.
Yes. I could sit in it anytime I want.
Yeah.
And I do. At least once a week.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That is cool. Yeah.
Yes. And there's these eggs are all around the world. They're everywhere. They're not just here in the States. They're I don't know where you're located in the UK, but I know there's a few there. I'm not sure where. I'd have to get on the site and check it out, but they're everywhere. There's several in Canada. There's not so much outside of the US and Canada, but I would have to say like 20.
I'll have a look.
So it's getting more and more all the time. Yeah. And the nice thing about the harmonic egg is this is going to sound weird, but it's so resonates with me. So I have one here in Michigan. Somebody has one in Illinois, which is close. Somebody has one in Canada, which is right because we're near Canada. And like everywhere in the world, the more there are, they talk to each other. So the more they are, the more powerful they get. And it spreads love and healing all over the world. Yeah.
So has the inventor created it with that purpose in mind?
Yeah. She didn't realize that was going to happen.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes. Didn't realize that they would talk to each other and harmonize with each other. But they do. You
Mm-hmm.
can tell when they're concentrated in an area versus when they're far, far, far apart.
Mm.
Yeah, it's really weird how it works.
Yeah.
Mhm.
When did you notice that?
She noticed that, well, they have been in production, I might get this wrong, 20, nope, before that. So I believe they were in production 3 years before I got mine. So 2018-ish, 2017 sounds
Mm-hmm.
right. That could be wrong. I might not be correct on the date, but she didn't notice it till about 2 years afterwards
Wow.
that they were, their frequencies were running together.
Mm-hmm.
She's very intuitive and very,
Yeah.
very in tuned in frequencies.
That is
She's also
fascinating.
from Michigan, so that's fun.
Mm. Yeah. Can you tell a little bit more about frequencies? Because I don't think many people know a lot about it.
Oh, okay, sure. Absolutely. So frequencies, our bodies are made up of frequencies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we are a physical body. Our body is physical, right? But inside our bodies and outside of our bodies, there are frequencies that we cannot see.
Mm-hmm.
So the frequencies, so if you're in a, have you ever walked into a room where somebody had just had a fight and you
It
walk in and
feels
you
different.
go,
Yeah.
whoo, what's going on in here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's energy. That's free. That's their frequencies giving off a vibe of anger.
Mm-hmm.
The frequencies aren't good or bad. They just are frequencies. They're not
Yeah.
labeled as that. So there was an angry frequency in the room, and the person that walked in could feel it, and it just about knocked them over. And that's why. So we have a
Mm-hmm.
frequency field.
Yes.
So our frequency field, when it's like angry all the time, that's why we get excuse me, that's why we get into fight or flight. We're always in the mode of stress
Mm-hmm.
and anxiety, depression. Those seem to be way easier to get in and get stuck than love and joy and happy for some
Mm.
reason. Even though they're the same frequent, well, fear in as a low frequency, happy,
Mm-hmm.
joy is a high frequency. And again, not good or bad, just frequency. So
Mm-hmm.
our goal is to get anybody that's in the angry frequency, which keeps us down and low and sad, right? Into the
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
higher frequency
Yeah.
of happy and joyful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reaching for the stars.
Reaching for the stars and stay there, you know.
Mm.
And we do go up. I mean, life goes up and down, you know,
Yeah.
just like your heartbeat. And it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
The trick is when you're down to not stay down.
Mm-hmm.
Get that frequency back up.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been taught at some point about a bit of things like that, and they were talking about the recovery time. So everybody will get down, but staying down, then you have a really bad recovery time. When you're out of it fairly quickly again, then your recovery time is good and you're in a much better place.
Yes.
And I really liked that picture of recovery time, because the better you normally take care of yourself and your vibe, or however you want to call it, and you stay in the higher frequencies, the better and the quicker you're back up there.
That is so true.
Yeah.
So true. You can, and they call it like what? A bounce back. You can bounce back a lot easier than somebody who's always depressed.
Yeah,
and
yeah, go on.
I was gonna say, and you are what you attract. So or you attract what you are. Excuse me, I said that backwards.
Yeah, no,
so if you're sad and depressed all the time, you're gonna attract people who are sad and depressed. They're gonna match your frequency.
Yes.
So we don't want to stay
Nope.
down there. And this is when I say, well, I like to help people. That's what I like to help people with. So they don't stay in that fear-based.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a pleasant place to be in anyway. So
and then it causes sickness.
Yeah.
It can cause everything, hair loss, eyesight problems, diseases, everything.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, it's literally, we're whole. Holistically, we're completely whole. So you cannot take one thing and think that will not affect the rest. It will. It always will.
Always.
Yeah. because we're complete. We're not one part. It's not
Yes.
like we're just a hand. No.
Yes,
we're
we
the
are
whole part.
and we are a whole physical body, and we are a whole spiritual body too.
Yes.
And
yes.
that's
And
where people
all
get
that.
a little bit
Yeah.
tricky. They go, oh, but I
Oh,
can't see it. Yep, but that doesn't mean it's not there.
It
So,
definitely is. Yeah. Yeah. And that influences. It influences everything.
it does.
Yeah. And that, it's in a way really beautiful, because it also means that through that you can influence your health. But on the other end, it's tricky because a lot of people don't know how to do that. So you get that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is fascinating. It really is. Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that it's way easier to stay in the sadness. And I'm not sure why that is. I'm still kind of, researching that. I don't know if I'll ever know, but why is it easier to stay in the sadness and the depression than it is to, and not that I'm not saying that it isn't easy to stay in love and happiness and connection, because it isn't. So that's wrong what I'm saying. So it's just more common. There we go. It's more common to be in sad and depressed.
But is that more because of the world we live in?
Yeah, I think so.
I've wondered about that, because I've done a lot of reading over the years, and I read The Continuum Concept, and that's a book by Jean Lietloff about the Iguana in South America. These people are in high spirits for the most part. When they get hurt, they don't start moaning. So she writes about canoes being dragged up a mountain, a hill, I don't even know what anymore, because years ago I read it. And it was with a group of Italian anthropologists. The Italian anthropologists were constantly struggling, were complaining and all that. While the Iguana, they were singing and doing it. Even when their ankles got bloody from my canoe, it was just part of life, and they continued singing and getting it up. So I wonder whether it's the exposure more than natural. So I wonder whether by nature we should be more in a higher frequency than what we're exposed to, and then because we're constantly exposed to the lower frequency, that feels more common, and we live into that more until we learn that that's not normal, I guess. But that's just based on the book, and that just came up for me as in, are we supposed to be in that lower frequency, or is it just more a habit and taught over the years?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. That is, and it comes up for me that I just believe we're taught that right from birth. And, when our parents are fighting and our siblings are fighting, and kids at school are being nitpicky and they're fighting with each other, and you're a nerd, so you get picked on or whatever, right from the get-go, the get-go. So we're not taught like our parents are happy. Like, and I'm not blaming anything on my parents or your parents or anybody's parents. I think it's just the way we're taught. Somehow we have to switch that around, and it has to start with the young babies right now, and the 5-year-olds and the 10-year-olds and the, and get them to, in our schools. I don't know that our schools really help that. I think it's, there's so much bullying. I mean, it all goes all together, right? I just don't think happiness is taught.
I don't think so either. Based on what I know from the school systems in the countries that I've lived in, it's only about academics. There's very little on creativity.
Right. It's about competition. Who's better than who, and who can get in where, and who makes more money than the next, and I want to be better than everybody else. That's not the society. I don't think that's the way life is supposed to be. I think we're supposed to be a community, and we're supposed to work together and have lots of friends, not just one. And, so this is really a good conversation, because I was asked by someone here local if I wanted to teach in a class setting, like not as a class, not a teacher. I am, but not school accredited, right? So like for extracurricular, like extra credit for these kids. And I was asked to do this for 10-year-olds and 12-year-olds. And I went, yes, absolutely, I can do that. I would love to. That would be so fun. And this morning I got up thinking, now how can I do that? What would I talk about?
Mm.
I mean, there's lots of topics to talk about, but I think this one might actually be a really good topic to do a class on.
Yeah.
So
that'll be really
very
interesting.
good. Yes, that should be very interesting, especially with 10 and 12-year-olds, right? So they're already starting to be programmed, right?
Yeah, you might be able to turn it a bit around
before. Yeah, it'd be fun to try.
Yeah, you know, it just made me think a bit about that book that I've read, and I've seen documentaries about tribal communities as well, and that's usually a community. It's not one person, it's all the group. The group together takes care of the food, the group together does things, and everybody helps everybody out.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I've always wanted to do that. I have checked into that about opening it like a community, like a whole community. And there are actually people here in the States that go around and just help you do a community.
Wow.
I know, but it was very overwhelming.
I can imagine that, yeah.
Yeah, so I figured at my age, that's probably not a good place to start. You know, if I was 20 or 30, you bet I'd be on that so fast. But unfortunate, at 20 and 30, I wasn't in this in this type of world per se.
Yeah, we all grow.
Yes. So, I mean, that's when I was starting, but it's way different now. If I would have known then what I know now, things would definitely be different.
Yeah.
Like a community. So my wellness center here, that's one thing because I have rooms that I'm renting out, and that's one reason I'm doing it. I want to build a community. Maybe it is only a community of 10 people, but it's still a community.
That would be a great start.
Where we all help each other.
Yeah.
And help our help our clients. It's not a I, me. It's a we.
Yeah. And one of my friends, she's in Canada, and the area she lives in, there's a lot of, well, there were a lot of holistic people. And what she found is that you start small, and then slowly but carefully more and more people join. So you may start with 10 people, but it will grow anyway.
Yes.
It's inevitable.
That
because more people want it.
Yes.
It will grow. It always does. Nothing really stays that small when it's something that's good for people. So,
right.
Yeah. At least that's my perspective.
Yes. So true. So true. Yeah. Again, that's law of attraction, right?
It is. It really is.
Yep.
Yeah. When it's about growth and well-being, it always grows. Just can't do it any different.
Yeah.
You simply, when you look at the more famous people that are doing things in that world, they started small and look where they are now.
Yeah, and people don't realize that. Like, I love Mel Robbins. I bring her up all the time. She's one of my favorites. I have lots of favorites, but she's one I really resonate with. And I was looking at some of her old videos, like when she first started, and I'm telling you, if people knew how others started, we see them as big, like say Tony Robbins. There's another good one. We see these big, powerful people, right?
Yeah.
But they started small and no money and no clothes, and had to work when they were 12 to put food on the table for their family because their dad took off, stuff like that. I mean, they're no different. They are no different. The only difference is when they got an idea and a desire to do something, they did it.
Yep.
Instead of following the pack. They went with their own gut instincts and wanted.
Same for Brian Scott. That's one of my favorites. And when you hear his past, you have this thing, whoa, that was not pretty either. But he did it, and he's still doing it. And there's many other people.
That's where I'm going to be, Deanna.
Oh, let's do it. I want to see it happen.
Because why not? They can do it.
Yeah. What's going to stop you?
Right, nothing.
When they can do it, anybody really can.
Yes, and that's what they say. They all say, you can do this. This is not hard. I mean, even Oprah says that.
Yes, I know. They all say it. That's the funny thing. All of them say it, and it's really true.
And I say, yes, but you have the money now, so it's easy. It seems easier for you. But no, it doesn't.
They didn't start that way.
It did
That's
not
the
start
thing.
that.
When you look at how Oprah's life was, man, that was pretty grim.
Yes.
But she got there.
Yes.
Yeah,
Lots.
so many.
I can think of probably 30 people right off the top of my head that say the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So it's possible.
it is definitely
Anybody
possible.
can do it.
Yeah.
And that's why there's life coaches.
Mm-hmm. Yep. To help them do that.
Yes.
Yes, to help everyone
Yes,
grow.
because life coaches, we can see things that they can't see, right? Because I always say you can't see it when you're in it. And you can't. That includes me. I can't see stuff
everybody.
And so that's why I have a coach.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you just can't. Very, very few people can do it on their own. Tony Robbins has coaches.
He does.
He has coaches. Mel Robbins is a coach, but she also has coaches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm sure the people that you talked about all have coaches.
I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't asked, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And they all talk about it.
Yeah, they do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think this is a good moment to make an end to our conversation.
Okay.
So I have one more question for you.
Absolutely.
When viewers or listeners would like to contact you, how can they do that?
Oh, absolutely. They can contact me through my phone, which is 989-395-4613. That's my business phone. I'm on Facebook, Prema Rose, which is Prema and Rose, ROSE, wellness.com. That's my website. Facebook is on there also. Janet Kiehl. And emails, email is premarosews for wellness suite. So PREMAROSEWS, like sweet, at Yahoo.
Cool.
Yeah, lots of ways. You can private message me or direct message me, whatever they call it these days, and lots of ways.
Good. So I will ask you to write all that to me so I can share it in the notes.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Oh, and janetjeancoaching.com too. I mean, it's not just Prema Rose. That's my Harmonic Egg, but janetjeancoaching.com.
Cool. I'll add that all in the description of the video.
Okay.
So that you can find you and then they can click. That'll make it easier.
Super. Would you like me to put it in the chat box?
No, not
now.
Email
it to you.
Email it to me or Facebook it to me. Just so I have that so I can just copy and paste it. Because here,
yes,
might get lost. I don't know.
Very grateful. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I really enjoyed this conversation. So thank you for joining me. That was really cool.
Yes.
It was really interesting to learn some more about the harmonic egg because I'd heard the word, but didn't really know much about it. And now I know a whole lot more about it. Thank you very much for joining me.
Amazing. I'll put that information in.
Cool. Thank you very much.
The message too for you.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well,
pleasure.
Then that's it for today.
Great.
And I want to thank everybody for watching and thank you for joining.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.